So today I want to talk to you guys about a lot of improvements that's made its way over to CTE recently, and briefly talk about the summer patch. The topics I'm going to cover in this video are just giving out my thoughts about the fake reload fix, the new bullet tracer effect, which I'll compare to retail BF4 so you guys can see the difference. Also the new turret system which has been put in place so it'll work regardless if you're playing on a 30, 60 or 140Hz server. And one change a lot of you jet pilots will get really excited about, the 3.13 physics have been put back into the game. So basically it seems like the jet physics tweaks from the spring patch have been reverted. But first of all, let's talk about the fake reload fix. You may or may not have heard about this infamous reload bug that apparently has been fixed. For those who don't know, this bug causes for the player to experience a fake reload. For example, if you have 14 rounds left in your mag and you decide to reload, the animation will play but you'll still have those 14 rounds remaining, and will most likely lead to you dying, which has happened to me quite a few times. This bug is caused because the game client and server are out of sync, and you might be thinking to yourself, I've never experienced this problem, Harry, so it isn't a really big deal for me. Well, this bug fix is actually pretty significant for a few reasons. First of all, the issue has been in the Frostbite engine since Bad Company 1 all the way back from 2008. So basically ever since the very first Frostbite powered Battlefield game. And that's why I'm extremely curious to know exactly what JJU did to fix the problem and why it's never been fixed in the past. Maybe JJU has some kind of special magical powers of some kind, who really knows. Also, the next major point is I think more people will take the Battlefield competitive scene more seriously. I'm actually one of those people, to be honest. I've never really taken it too seriously, knowing that the reload bugs are in the game and can strike at any time. Can you imagine if the exact same fake reload bug was in Counter-Strike, for example? A game that has a very strong competitive scene and the fake reload bug occurred during some kind of tournament at a crucial moment. It would be a pretty big joke. However though, the fix has been implemented into the CTE client, so fingers crossed this bug has gone for good. Next up, let's talk about the tracer effect. I'm sure we all can say since the spring patch it kind of looks like lasers are shooting out of our guns, which I'm sure makes sense within the Battlefront universe, but in BF4 it doesn't work too well. Though I will admit, being able to very easily see the bullets fired has helped visually understand how spread works with different weapons, and has actually helped me decide what attachments to use. However though, the reddish effect is a little too much. I'll add the comparison in the background here, comparing to retail BF4 to what it looks like at the moment on CTE. As you can see, the reddish laser effect is completely gone. A DICE developer said the brightness of the tracer trails has been reduced. Also, the tracer frequency has been changed to only show itself once every third bullet. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on YouTube, but after the tweaks there's a very slight, very small yellow tracer that appears every third bullet. Yes, the changes are greatly improved to what we have now, but the downside is you won't be able to see spread as easy. Just take note of how wild the bullets are flying on the MG4 while at its max spread, which for those who don't know, the belt-fed LMGs had their max spread increased by a fair amount. Also, one thing I noticed on the retail client, the tracer actually spawns behind the gun, which honestly I've never noticed before until this comparison. But in my opinion, overall the new effect is pretty cool, but I would actually like to see something in between these 2 points. So basically what we have on CTE currently, and maybe with a more bright reddish yellow tone. But I will say I'm pretty happy the trail effect has gone and the tracer effect only shows up every third bullet. So with the 60 and 120Hz high tick rate servers, one of the many problems that's shown up is how they mess up the turret turning speeds. It basically made them turn really slow to the point it made some vehicles unplayable. From what I understand, there's two key elements of the turret system: threshold and acceleration. The threshold determines the maximum value at which a turret can turn, and the acceleration is how quickly you can get to that threshold value. That's pretty much how this mechanic is intended to function, but when the 30Hz tick rate was introduced into BF4, it broke the threshold, and currently in retail BF4 you can move turrets at any speed you want. Well, according to what I've read on Reddit. However though, this topic has been rather confusing as there's a lot of conflicting data, and I might be wrong about this, but from what I've gathered it sounds like DICE brought in a new system that makes the turning speeds the same regardless if you're playing on a 30, 60 or 120Hz server. So for example, if I have 30% vehicle sensitivity and 900 DPI on my mouse, whatever my turning speed for those settings will be, it would be the same in all kind of tick rate servers. However, it was also my understanding that with this new system on CTE, there's meant to be a cap on how fast you can spin your turret compared to retail BF4. Because let's face it, if your primary tank turret can do a 180 in about 0.3 of a second just by simply increasing your mouse DPI, I would argue it could make tanks a lot stronger, and not to mention pretty damn unrealistic. What I decided to do is do some tests in the test range. I won't play the footage for too long as it might make you dizzy, but for this test I wanted to stress this new turret system as much as possible when compared to retail BF4 and see how fast I can potentially spin and see if there's any limitations. So I increased my mouse DPI to 5700 and set vehicle sensitivity to 100%. During both of these tests, I'm moving my mouse across the mousepad at the same speed, and as you can see very clearly on CTE, I can spin extremely fast compared to retail BF4. And from the looks of it, the retail client does in fact have a limitation as I'm not able to spin as quick. Like I said before about the 180s, as you can see, I can do a 180 very quickly on CTE with this new turret system. But yes, the downside is I'll lose some accuracy as it's quite sensitive and will be hard to be precise. At this point I'm starting to think maybe DICE are actually referring to the gunner turret and not the primary, which is where some of this confusion comes into play. But really, the super turning speed might be a cause of concern if the system does go into the summer patch. Seeing as it'll give you the amazing ability to do 180s extremely quick, kill any infantry players trying to sneak up behind you and lay down some C4, and then quickly go back facing forwards at your main target. I'm not too sure how this new system works on consoles, but if you're on a PC and you have a decent quality gaming mice with 1000Hz polling rate and you have the ability to change your DPI with a click of a button at any time during a game, it may give you that upper hand to stay alive. Yes, the downside is, with such a high sensitivity you lose accuracy, but my suggestion would be to add in a threshold limitation so you can't turn super quick regardless of whatever your mouse DPI is. I'm not saying to make the turning speed slow, but the system definitely needs a turning speed limiter of some kind. Apart from this super turning speed capability, the one change DICE made that I really like is you don't need to turn the sensitivity down when you change to the gunner's seat. It feels mostly the same as when I'm sitting in the main seat compared to the gunner's seat. And the last topic I want to talk about is the jet physics have been reverted back to how they were before the spring patch. So the 313 and the 317 system seems to be back, which I know pretty much every jet pilot were asking for, and better yet, I'm pretty sure they were included in the summer patch. But anyway guys, that's the end of this video. In my next video I want to go over some of the content that will be included in the summer patch and also go over my concerns, as from what I've seen on CTE, kind of hope DICE make some final tweaks before releasing the summer patch. But anyway, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the new tracer effect. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.